For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za. iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiskiTimes.co.za. Orlando Pirates are out of the CAF Champions League. They gave it a good go. They punched. Okay, sometimes you go into a football match. I'm thinking that actually it's advantageous to know what you need as you go into a football match, because most football matches are stalemates because both teams don't want to relinquish their possession. Pirates came to Orlando Stadium knowing that they need 3 goals. They scored those 3 goals. Last minute goal by Apolis, I think from outside the box. At least they got what they needed, at least to go to penalties. What they needed was 4 goals to win outright. It was, I say again, the twisted, sick logic of football that just when you thought you were out, they suck you back in, because Pirates gave themselves a fighting chance. If you were at that stadium, the euphoria of scoring that 3rd goal and the celebration, and then the down of losing in the penalties. One wonders, of course, those of us who are intellectually curious, to say, would you take just being out at 2-0 or the agony of scoring the 3rd goal, celebrating it, and then going to penalties and being out again? That's very interesting. Interesting to observe even the fans to have that hope, but it's false hope. Well done to Lindo Pep. Very good game of football. There were, of course, points that we'll pick apart with Lindo Pep. What did you make of the game, sir?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I think Bulisi team, technical team, Bulisu Chasta,
Yes, sir.
TKJ. Thank you. So many talking points, different angles in how we can approach this.
Yeah, it was interesting from the starting 11. We were debating the lack of a striker and all of that. But just a summary for you, how did you see the game?
Yeah, Mr. Nkeo, maybe the first talking points is, let me speak about the disappointment. The first disappointment, I have to stress this, which you mentioned in his video. We needed Orlando Pirates playing in the CAF Champions League. Number 1, we are playing the World Cup. Number 2, we are favorites in the AFCON. So we needed the Orlando Pirates players to be super confident, on form, in the right headspace. We are going into the World Cup. The CAF Champions League, normally, it's one of the, that's why it's called the league, because it plays throughout the season.
16 matches.
16 matches.
If you go to the finals, 16 matches.
Gives you an opportunity also to play games of consequence. Now you're talking about Tumbogazi, you're talking about Turilem Fukeng, you're talking about Tuspis, you're talking about Tuchaine, you're talking about so many players, Abombacha, and so many players that are in that Orlando Pirates squad, even Naima Khopa, that we needed going into that World Cup. So for them to be out now is a huge disappointment, a very sad day in South African football. I for one, even in our video on Monday, I was vouching for Orlando Pirates, and that was hope. But the reality happened today. But the hope in me had faith, because I trust that those boys are informed, but not just informed. The boys wanted to play Lentuza, CAF Champions League for so many reasons. But Mr. Nkeo, must came in.
So focus a little bit on the Champions League aspect before we go back to the game. I think the one aspect of debate that maybe we can bring across to the audience as well, to the people at home, is that as you are building your profile as an African team, Orlando Pirates are a CAF winner in 1995. They're the first CAF Champions League winner in the SADC region. That includes Zambia, Zimbabwe. SADC is the Southern African region, right? So that is not to take away that Orlando Pirates are a respected team continentally. But if you look at the trajectory of both Chiefs and Pirates on the continent, Chiefs were in the final of the CAF Champions League in 2021, and they've never been back to the Champions League. Orlando Pirates were in the final in 2013. They were also recently in the final of the Confederations Cup as well. But it seems to be that 1 year you are in, 1 year you are out, 1 year you are in, 1 year you are out. And I think that in order to be considered as an African team, you have to make a better push. You will see in the UEFA Champions League, every year you will see PSG and Lille and this one and that one. From France and in England, you will see the same teams. And they will go all the way to the quarters and semifinals. In order for Pirates to be considered as an African team in the last 5 years, we needed them to always be in the semifinals. And that's how eventually you help Bafana Bafana. Because you don't help by just only being there once. And then not being also being knocked out in the first rounds next year and so on. For them to push quarterfinals every year or semifinals every year would have been a great achievement for them.
Mr. Nko, it's not a fluke that we're doing well with Bafana Bafana. There's a huge difference that it's helping. If you saw the beginning of the game, even from a dark side of the game, those players were teaching us things that never normally happens on the Betway Premiership. But just to speak about the Champions League, in my opinion, this was a statement game. Number 2, this game was Orlando Pirates was supposed to build an invincible aura that every African team that comes to Orlando Stadium, they know that you are going to come for a tough game. And you could see from the anticipation, from the technical
They kind of achieved that, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Other than the fact that losing on penalties.
100%.
Because they did score 3 goals. It's a statement win, other than the fact that unfortunately they're out.
Season-defining 90 minutes as well. For them to season-defining 90 minutes. Like I said, Mr. Nkeu, for me, the CAF Champions League has become so important in African football.
Absolutely.
Because also, if you understand the landscape of South African football, not most of our players go into European leagues. And it's not an economic thing, but it's a tactical thing because of the pace and the physicality of our league at times. That's why we thrive sometimes in the CAF Champions League, because we are nippy, we are quick, we can keep the ball. We check our under-17 weight, you can reference that when we go into Africa, we dominate those teams on the ball. In terms of ball retention, quick high press, running in behind them, because we've got quick dynamic wingers. Under 20 as well, you can see. So CAF Champions League contributes with regards to that. For me, Orlando Pirates have become a serious team in South African football. That's why I'm saying the disappointment comes from that. But from a Coach Wadu, this should be a game where he understands that he has let not only just the fans, but the team down. But as a coach, it's also important to understand that some things, as in terms of failure, people fail in general in life. And probably we make so many mistakes.
All of us.
All of us. It's every day. Mr. Nkeu, it's his first season. Now we need to define what is success for Orlando Pirates going into the season. He's under pressure to deliver the league now. He's under pressure to win the Carling Cup. He's under pressure to win the Nedbank Cup. So I'm looking at this sitting here now and saying, if he wins the Nedbank Cup, he wins the Carling Cup, he really wins the league. Now he's redefined his season.
Can't win all of them.
For sure.
But maybe the league, if it pushes for the league, it kind of maybe helps with the disappointment. Yeah, absolutely. Because my fear with these smaller domestic trophies as well, you play 4 matches, you win them, is that as soon as you win 2 of them, it is considered as a good season. In fact, there are times when if you're a Rulani that wins the league almost unbeaten until the last game, they say, no, but you only won 1 thing. And then they'll reference someone else who won maybe 2 things, but they played a total of 8 matches in those 2
But
things.
Mr. Nkeu, you know what I want to say before we get into the game quickly? You remember what the conversation we used to have about Barcelona last year? That maybe they might not be the team that might win the league and the Champions League, but next season,
they're building to something.
That's what I'm feeling with
Which is even with Spain, that's what they said. I think Spain in the 2022 Qatar World Cup, their coach said, we are here with a bunch of 20-year-olds, they will win something. 2 years later, they won the Euros.
Mr. Nkeu, it's very difficult to see it now because it's far-fetched. It looks like it's far-fetched. But from a tactical perspective and a tactical evolution, I don't know, as an analyst, my job is to see things that maybe normal people don't see.
Absolutely.
And what I am feeling is that, and not just feeling, and from what I'm watching, there's a tactical evolution that needs to happen. The team is going somewhere. And Orlando Pirates will be in a better place 3-4 seasons from now, based on how they play. For me, how they used to play under Jorge Rivero, Abos Joseph Zimbao, they were 120. And for me, there was a period in their tempo of the game where they needed players who can control the game. They needed constructive. They needed players that can create chances from different variations.
And even the game management aspect.
Game management aspect.
If you are winning 2-0, there's no need to rush.
But there's one question, there's one answer that they need to answer. Who was going to score them 15 goals to win them the league? Every club that wins the Premier League, every club that wins the league has somebody to score them 15 to 20 goals. That's the only one. And for me, that's the only answer they have to answer to say, who is the future of Orlando Pirates? If the future is Umahopa, he's 25, maybe they can say he's tall, he's an international player. We just have to put him in situations where he can score those goals.
And the other question with him, if they go for him, is what are they doing to help him improve?
They need to help him. They need to help him.
It's not natural in him to score 20 goals.
No.
So what are they going to do to transform him into that striker? Let's go into the game, sir. How was this game won and lost? I mean, it's ridiculous to even ask a stupid question because the team that won 3-0. I hate this mixed feelings that I have that I have to ask you guys what went wrong. Nothing went wrong. Pirates won 3-0. You know what I'm saying? But please take it away in terms of your analysis.
Mr. Nkeu, let me speak about the game, and I want to land quickly with this point. From my understanding of tactical analysis and the approach of Coach Wadu, he wanted chaos with using 3 number 10s and 2 wingers. He wanted chaos, but controlled chaos by using Umbule, Utito, Nonentamjela closer to the box. He understood and anticipated in the game that they're going to play against the low block. So the first line of confrontation is not the 3 forwards, it's the midfield block. So how do you break that midfield block? You need players who are reliable in terms of ball retention. You need players that can dribble in 1-2. You need players that can dribble to eliminate in terms of progressive passing or progressive dribbling with the ball. Number 2, you need 2 things when you have forward players. You need players that have explosive pace, that only need 3 seconds to get away from their opponent. That's the quality that Mremi has. And that's why Junior mentioned something important to Mremi Bulalili Pirates, because he was offering them that threat of not maybe being on the ball because he's got so many ball players, but he offers them that explosive pass. Police offers them two things. He offers them an explosive pass, but he offers them a pass, but he offers them a shot outside the box as well. He's got a very good diagonal pass. But what's more interesting for me is the 3 ball-playing players that he started the game with. His anticipation was, Mr. Nkeu, I need to break the first line of confrontation. But now Manka to breaker. Utito plays in front of the opponent. Umbule is a passer. Unemtachela drives with the ball. So Mocheka, they created opportunities, in my opinion, because you would find Unemtachela joining in the box a little bit late. That's why they created opportunities. My anticipation were 2 things, Mr. Nkeu, in that system, where I agree with you, not Junior, not so, is if you're going to attack like that, you need a focal point. Because sometimes when you play without a striker, he anticipated that there's going to be a block. In that block,
he's freeing the other thing that was that he's freeing the 3 centre backs. Lupopo. If he's not keeping them busy, he's keeping them free enough so that they can mark everyone else.
In his head, he was probably thinking, I don't need presence. I need players who are going to run from deep.
Don't you think that was strange, given that he never does that?
Do you know what was strange? Is using
because Ukubala strike, and sorry to Scott, I just want to expand on this point that this is the first time Angazanga fag a striker. And it's a match where he needs goals. So that's strange. That's why the guys are saying maybe that starting lineup as well was it was a collaboration. It's a collaborated starting lineup because it doesn't make sense. You need goals, but you're not playing with a striker.
For me, there's 2 things. I'll get to that point, trust. But for me, I could understand. He was looking for chaos. He was looking for dynamic movements, which is the strikers he had on the bench. You see Mbutuma Magangen. There was lack of dynamism. There was lack of movement.
But Mbutuma created sufficient chaos.
For sure.
In fact, A1 who created more chaos than the 3 number 10s. That he, in fact, the way he was running, even the runs that he took when he scored that corner, even before that you need a guy who, since he was 13 years old, he knows how he smells how to score goals.
I agree with you, but also there's a positive side there. I have to. I'm 50-50 with that, Mr. Nkeu, because another 50 says Orlando Pirates, when Utito had Umbule and Onemtajela, they looked like they can score anytime. And for me, when they started introducing Ulentuza, Umbutuma, Apolis was 2-5, Utito was on the right, Apolis was on the left. For me, the distance in between, when they played first half, they were closer to the box.
But there's nothing that stops them from getting close. Because Umbutuma will still have enough space and they will be close enough. Because it doesn't mean just because you have a striker, you let him play alone in the box. You can still join him.
For sure.
My challenge was that what he was asking from Utito. But the reason why this didn't look like the problem is that Lupopo didn't want to play. If Lupopo played normal, you would have seen that you are asking Utito to join late. You are asking Mbule to join. His starting position as a midfielder is in midfield. Then you are asking him to make that run to go to the box as a false number 10, as a false 9.
Mr. Nkeu, you know I love these tactical conversations.
But let's go to the substantive part of this. There was a red card there. Let's just describe that moment and maybe how it affected him. Do you think if there was no red card, would there be a comeback from Paris?
I think they would have scored 4 goals in my opinion. Like I said to you, Mr. Nkeu. In my
sweating.
I love these tactical conversations. I love these tactical conversations.
So you're not a woman. There you go.
But Mr. Nkeu, these are the conversations. Let me put this away. This is very important because I want to learn this point.
So, your red card. Do you think that would have helped if Umuremi stays on the pitch? And do you agree that there's supposed to be 2 red cards there?
For me, maybe the Muremi was not supposed to be a red card, but also the guy.
He does retaliate, even though it's not too bad. But he gives the referee a decision to make when he's pushing someone away.
Mr. Nkeu, the red card affected the Orlando Pirates. From that perspective, the coach was looking for chaos because Jobangish, it's important to understand it's very difficult to Lentuza to break a low block. You need a relationism. In relationism, you play the ball, you play the space and the picture that you see. Sometimes the picture, you need to play the picture. And the picture sometimes says to me, that's why I'm saying, Mr. Nkeu, before I land with this red card thing. For me, there's 2 tactical things I was expecting from a coach. Was Dion Hoto as a sub or Sichenduli? Why you to Dion Hoto? Dion Hoto offers you the width, but you already have a Muremi. If they don't get a red card, you keep a Muremi on the wider area, you introduce some Bogas, and then you have a 3, right? If you don't want to,
sacrifice, defending one person.
It's 3v1 situation.
They are only defending one person.
Or you remove Unduli. You remove Unduli, you put in a strike, and then you add that presence.
Same logic.
Same logic. Yes.
Defending one person. Now this is where it's multiple questions that come out. With modern coaches, they are very strange human beings. If a game asks you
Yeah.
to score more goals, why is it? And where now your defending team is only defending one player because they were always just defending one player in the second half. Why don't you take out a defensive midfielder, put a striker?
For me, the game did not need a three-man rest defense. In my opinion, you needed enough cover. And there's so many ways to overload. And for me, that was my question to say, okay, Sharp, you're looking for chaos, but now you also need point of reference. And also defensively, why are you having an extra body when it's a 3v1 situation?
Yeah.
And for me, Umremi becomes an important player in that Orlando Pirates squad because it's been something we've been emphasizing. Run behind the defense.
All right, let's wrap it up. I'm
Yeah.
getting a little bit tired. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's been intense conversations. You have faith in Umqeqeshi Wado.
Yeah, I think, for me, like I said, Mr. Nkeu, after Coach Rulani, he's one of the best tactical coaches that we have in our Petty Premiership.
Give him some time.
If you give him some time.
Let's see. I agree with you that he's talented.
There's only a few teams in this country that play position football. In the 16 teams that we have in the league, maybe you might count 3 in the league that we have. We need a team that knows how to control. We need a team that initiates the game. We need a team that plays with intention. We need a team that plays with identity. The biggest, if a team lacks identity and is fighting and is trying to compete for the biggest trophies in the country, it becomes I'm looking for the right English word. Maybe you can help me. If you lack identity, you lack.
Every match you play, whatever happens.
Happens, yeah.
But when you have a way of constructing opportunities,
Yes.
you can rely on what can happen.
Thank you
You
very
can
much.
rity on the possibility that you'll score 3 goals because you'll dominate the opposition.
You're not playing betting football.
Yes.
You're not
You're not
hitting and
gambling.
hoping.
Yeah,
You're not
exactly.
gambling. You're not a gambler. You want to take
you take matters into your own
in
hands.
your own hands.
Exactly.
They understand the opportunities they want to create. They
Just
know.
like Tuesday or Wednesday, you guys watched them and you said
Yeah.
7 or 8,
For
8
sure.
chances, clear cut. It was a matter of them missing.
And to show the tactical progression, Orlando Pirates, all the opportunities and the goals that they score, and a reference. They score the same goals. Similar goals.
That's why Muremi scores.
Muremi,
It's the
Apolis.
same human beings, yeah.
Same kind of goals if you can check. So that's reference. And for me, I would rather watch and support the team that does that than supporting a team.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go. So you have faith in the coach.
Faith in the coach.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Lindo Pep. That was Orlando Pirates out of the CAF Champions League. Apologies, of course, for the prolonged conversation. It's a moment in time where we have to kind of ventilate what went wrong. But it's strange, like you see, if you're intelligent enough, you'll know that nothing went wrong per se. Of course, not nothing went wrong because the starting 11 was not that great. But if a team scores 3 goals, nothing went wrong in effect. The thing that went wrong happened in the first leg, that you don't concede 3 goals away from home.
Yeah.
Other than that, they fought. The guys fought a good fight. The thing we always say about Orlando Stadium was true, that, it's a very difficult, it's a demonic stadium for away teams. They don't know what to think. They don't know it's very hot and people are shouting you. They're swearing by your mother. It's the worst stadium. It's the best stadium in the country for the home team, worst stadium for the away team. I love it. So Orlando Stadium played its role. Orlando Pirates played their part as well. If you can score 3 goals to nil against a team, you did your best, man. You can't be considered as losers. Unfortunately, you considered 3 in the first leg. iDiskiTV, iDiski Times, we're suspecting.
Boom. Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami Lindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiskiTV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Villagazi, they call me so. Niazi bafethu, I'm a coach for life. They are back in winning ways. Please, I tell you to subscribe to iDiskiTV.